Hey everyone, and welcome to this video. Today I'm at Auto Credit Canada, and what I'm going to be showing you is two cars in one video. This is a 2007 Ford Fusion, this is a 2011 Ford Fusion. Both of them are SEL trim levels, both of them have aluminum wheels, both of them are completely stock. And both of them are not completely perfect, but the point of this video, we're going to compare this one to this one, and I'm going to show you what has changed from this model to this model. There isn't a lot of changes, but there is some. And personally, if I was to do it, I'll tell you my configuration. I'd take this front end because the projector headlights, those wheels because I just personally like them more. I would take the body side molding on this one, and I would take the interiors, the seats from this one with a dash from this one. Yeah, that's about all I would take, but we'll get this one started up and we'll go around this one first. As you can see, this one has the tan leather interior, tan door panels with the piano black trim across the dash. I think the radio's having a spaz attack, but whatever. Typical 6 CD radio. That's another problem with these cars. So we'll pop the hood, pop the trunk, and we'll put down the driver window just in case it decides to lock. Unlock all the doors though too. So as you can see, this is the normal white. I don't know what Ford calls it. I think it might be Oxford white. It's not metallic, but as you can see from the shadowing, it does have the puddle lights under the mirrors. And oh, this car is actually in really nice shape overall. It's not bad at all. It's a V6 all-wheel drive. Now about these ones here, this is the older body style rear end. The SE trim level came with a body color piece of here across the trunk. The SE trim level, I'm in a puddle, was usually a 4-cylinder, and the 4-cylinder, I can't remember. I think the exhaust port came out on the passenger side, and it wasn't dual cutouts. And now here is where this gets interesting. The all-wheel drive model had a smaller gas tank. The front-wheel drive had a 68-liter gas tank, and the all-wheel drive had a 62-liter gas tank to make room for the rear differential and the axle to the rear end. As you can see, this one has the full chrome front end with fog lights, quad beam headlights, and you could get a sport appearance package that actually gave you black chrome instead of silver chrome. And I actually really love how the black chrome looks on these cars. It wasn't a common feature on this first generation though. So we'll put the hood up, get the prop rod in, and here we have your 3-liter V6 Duratec. This one here makes about 200 horsepower, 220-ish, I think, and a little more torque than that. But in the first generation, the power plant options were either a 2.3-liter inline 4-cylinder with a 5-speed Mazda transmission. I cannot remember the name for the life of me. I'm sorry guys, I do not remember it. But this one here has a 6-speed Aisin transmission with the V6, and that was what was in the V6 always. You got a 5-speed with the 4-cylinder, 6-speed with the 6-cylinder. And class exclusive at the time, and I think it might still be now, was all-wheel drive. All-wheel drive is of course optional, but you could not get all-wheel drive in any of the competitors at this time. And the other thing, I forget what I was gonna say. But wow. Good job, Mike. Forget what you were gonna say. This one also has normal power steering, like hydraulic power steering, and the car overall is just a bit simpler. It's not much different, but it's just a bit simpler. We'll close up the hood now. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. So, also another available option was you could get the 2.3 liter with the 5-speed manual transmission, and that was what I had. I had a 2009 Ford Fusion 2.3 liter inline 4-cylinder engine and the 5-speed manual transmission. But I had a tuxedo black metallic car with tint about this dark as well, and I had a black leather interior. We'll step onto the interior now and we'll take a look at this, and I'll show you what this one looks like, and then we'll go into the newer one and show you the differences. Oh, trunk's ajar. I was gonna show you in the trunk too, I guess. So, trunk is very big in these cars. Very nice size, and you can fit a lot in them. Trust me, I've had a lot in mine. Spare tire under here, and your jack and tools over there. Your instructions for it are right there. French and English, I believe. But yeah, that's about all for the outside. It is nice because you have gas shocks, and the shocks and the mounts are outside the trunk, so there's no arms interfering. We'll step onto the inside though now for sure, and we'll take a look at this. Chrome door handles. Please ignore that. I think the radio's having a freak out. Clock in the middle, traction control, hazards, and your information. You can see your time driving, your trip A, trip B, kilometers to empty, your average in liters per 100, which you can also change to be in miles per gallon, and you can change the gauge to read this in miles. Except here, you can't change that to read in miles, but minor details. Auto dimming rear view mirror. This one, of course, has a sunroof. Glasses holder. Power plug there. And of course, heated seats, which the driver one appears to not be working. 2 cup holders here. 2-tier armrest, which more or less stay the same. You have an auxiliary port in here, but this one is a year before Ford Sync came out, so this one does not have sync. If you had sync, you would have not a temperature button, but a voice command button kind of thing here. This is your, and you wouldn't have fan speed here either because it was on, off, set, and resume over here only. So there is a few changes from even in the first generation. So later in first gen came out sync. Okay, 2007 Ford Fusion, long life bulbs for something in the car. There we go. This is a very comfortable car though, and I would really like to get my hands on another one. And we'll see how the back seat is because, well, that's part of the car too. And there's a little bit of difference too, believe it or not. So as you can see in the back here, it's really clean, but the headrest here is built into the seat itself. And you'll see a difference in the newer one, which I'll show you. You have curtain airbags, which I believe are standard, and you have, as of 07 at least, and you have side airbags on the seat. Very comfy back seats too though. These cars have awesome seats all around, and well, I can't complain about how they sit at all because they're super comfy. But as you can see, we have a armrest in the center of the back seat. Map pockets in the back of both seats, and well, this seat is huge, guys. It's huge. I am just over 6 feet tall. I'm very comfortable in the front seat, and I still have like 3 inches of room behind in front of my knees. So, I think what we'll do now, since I've gone through this one and I've told you about everything that I know about these cars, let's go on to the newer one and we'll go through that one. So, that is the portion of the video of this one here. Now, you will see some differences. They're not going to be big differences, but there is going to be some differences. So, let me get the key out of my pocket for this one. And we'll go around to this one now that I've got the key, which is the same. So, this one here is pretty much the same. It's the same trim level, not the same color. This one is platinum white tri-coat, I think. So we'll step to the inside of this car and we'll start it up first of all. And this one here has the more preferred black leather interior. Alright, black interior as a whole. This one has 164,553 kilometers on it. Not very high kilometers. And we'll turn that off. And as you can see, the gauge cluster is different completely. But we'll go around the outside first and we'll make note of the outside differences first. So, the trunk and the hood, and we'll go around the outside. So, there's a few immediate differences you'll notice. So, there's immediate differences would be the wheels are different. There's still the same style of wheel with the double spokes, but they are more open to the brakes. And down the side, you'll notice there's no body side molding. And, well, that was just a thing they did to modernize the car, which it did do, but yeah. It definitely modernized the car. And this one here has dual exhaust, which tells me, I think it's a V6. Could be wrong, but I think it's a V6. Flex fuel. The third brake light is here instead of there. And the trunk stayed very much the same. Underneath here, you'll see the same tab to pull up with. Your tools are over there still. But here you have an extra piece because this has capless filler. This is here in case you ever need to fill with one of those red gas cans. Because capless filler you cannot fill without that. And they added a handle here to make it easier to close. The chrome banding is the same, the doors are the same, the body is all the same, except the rear bumper, rear tail lights got refreshed, the front fenders are different, and the front clip is just completely different. You have your fog lights in more of a trapezoid hole now, and your headlights are more octagon shaped than before where they were more square. Personally, I like these headlights a lot more because they are projector headlights, but you keep the 3-bar chrome grille on the top. This one here is missing a lower grille, which that's easy to replace. But yeah, we'll take a look under the hood of this one now. And we have got a 3-liter V6 under the hood of this one as well. But there is differences in this one. This one I think had the same power output, but for 2010 there was more options, such as you could get a hybrid, which I don't know much about the hybrid, but yeah, you could get one. But there was also a sport trim level that came out, which came with a 3.5 liter V6, which came out of the Ford Edge, I believe. And it was about 40 horsepower or more, 40 horsepower-ish more than the stock 3-liter V6. It as well came with the 6-speed Aisin transmission that came out of the earlier ones. Because in favor of the 6-speed Aisin transmission, they began to use the, I think it was GM and Ford designed it together, a 6F35 transmission. It's a 6-speed automatic transmission which was mated to the 2.5 liter engine, which replaced the 2.3 liter engine and made it more powerful and more efficient on fuel most times. And the 3 liter stayed the same, but it received that 6F35 transmission, which I believe also gave it a boost in fuel mileage. The other option was you could get a 2.5 liter with a 6-speed manual transmission, because I will tell you this from owning one, these ones with a 5-speed manual are highway screamers, but the 6-speed, giving it that extra gear, just lowered that RPM to make it really nice on the highway. So yeah, under the hood is mostly the same, but there is differences. Yeah, it's not crazy differences, but there is differences. So we'll close up the hood there, and we'll go on to the interior. So as you see, there isn't many differences from the interior, from the exterior point of view from these cars. It's mostly just body panels, and under the hood is where a lot of the changes happened. This one here has the optional keyless entry, and new for 2010 you could get this silver and the painted pieces here. But in 2009, which that's a 2007, so I couldn't show you on that one, the seat got this swoop down and round piece here instead of having straight square rectangles across. So there was updates in that one as well again. So this one has a full power driver's seat as well as passenger seat now. That was an upgrade for 2010. As well as another upgrade was you got this little blind spot mirror integrated into the mirror, which personally I love that option. The sound systems in this one was a 12 speaker upgraded Sony audio system, which is actually a really good sound system. And the upgraded system in the old one, it was standard 6 speaker, which this is also a standard 6 speaker, but in that one it was an upgraded 8 speaker. Garage home link in this one, sunroof again, and your glasses holder. This has stayed relatively the same. Your steering wheel is relatively the same, but you see, this is what you would have got if you got Sync in a 2009 or 2008. So this is a little different, but it's more the same as the 2009. And your leather wrap steering wheel did change a little. You get these bolster bumps. So yeah, a little bit different. Auto headlights are in both. This little button pad changed as well. I'm not sure why, but they did change it. The gauge cluster is a big change though. So the buttons were here before on the older one, but the buttons are here now on this newer one for the little display right down there. And the way they did it, personally, I like the older one better, but this one here, you have your tach, your speedometer, and your coolant temp, and then your fuel gauge. Personally, I like the older one better, but to each their own. I like older usually. The center stack got updated. Now, I forgot to show you in the other one, but there is a storage pocket up here on that one, but it is a little bit different than this one. The airbag is integrated in the dash, so when it breaks the dash apart. They didn't take the airbag away. And the airbag, of course, is standard down the curtain of the car as well. But as you can see, faux carbon fiber-ish look. This one I think might have the 6 CD radio. You have phone connectivity, your volume, and your auto climate control as well in this one. Heated seats as well in this one. Traction control, and this one here has the interior lighting package, which is an awesome feature. I love that feature about these cars. It's really nice. Open up the glove box. It maintains the same size. The door changes, but the framework of it overall stays the same. This one here, as you can see, has my Ford Sync. But this also has manual mode, so you can use it, which displays your gear right there. I like that feature of manual mode a lot, actually. Leather stitched armrest became standard, even in cloth ones. Well, other than the S trim level, I believe. Center console stayed all the same, but yeah, not a lot changed. So we'll get this set up comfortably for me, and we'll see if there's any differences in comfort in the back seat for me. So yeah. Another awesome added feature, the first gen never had a change pocket, but this one does. They put a change pocket right here. So as you can see, the back leather interior is in great shape on this one, but as you can see, the same swooping motion comes down in the back seat now on these ones, and the same painted trim comes to the back seat. I don't believe there was much difference, but I do feel like there's more room in the back of this one than that older one. I believe that was an update in the seats, but I could not tell you for sure. There is still an airbag in the side of the seat, but it's integrated behind the leather. As you can see, this got shorter. This is more a lower one now, this armrest, and the headrests, as you can see, have changed. This one here goes up and down, covering the back of the seat, and these two go right over the rear window, which blocks the back window a bit, which is sort of something I'm not a fan of, but it is what it is. So the back seat is more or less the same, and that door handle's not working. So yeah, these cars are more or less the same cars, but with a refresh. This one here is much favored overall. I will take the 2.5 liter engine over the 2.3 liter, but I would love the 6-speed manual, but I want that dash. Yeah, there isn't a crazy amount of difference between these two cars, but there is differences. But yeah, that is the difference between a first generation and a 1.5 generation Ford Fusion. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please hit that like button. Any other ideas on what you want me to compare one generation to the next on, please drop down below. Thanks for watching. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, as well as subscribe for more. Have a great day, everyone.